Moving on with some more in the series about trauma crises. So from a personal perspective, I'm now just a dash over 2 weeks outside of a near-death experience, just a really totally traumatizing experience. So I've been doing like the inside job. I'm studying it from the inside. Because it's one thing to sort of look from the outside and you can see patterns, and those patterns are actually quite valid and relevant. But yeah, I thought I'd just speak from the inside. So, and I'm somebody who's done a lot of work on my psychology, an awful lot of work, both with privately in private space with psychologists, and then just studying teachings which help you to work through it and to process it all. Higher teachings, very spiritual style um, teachings, but yeah, it's all based on everything is mind, everything is mind. And so the trauma experience and how it affects the mind. um, So, I felt like I feel like, once I'm in officially in a new place already, like bang, that happens so fast. And I'm at the point where I'm just sort of beginning to set myself on a new path and organize things, make the space sort of my home and everything. So it's like this forwards path, and the pressure's sort of off on a deadline of when I had to sort of get all the loose ends tied up, which while I was just in total trauma state, still on site where the accident happened, and it was just sort of kind of high intensity stuff. But now I'm on the easy side of things, so it's just been a lot more, a lot more calm, maybe just some moments of sort of grief coming up, and, you know, big surges of sadness, but it felt very natural. But I hadn't had any panic attacks for a while. And only 2 days ago, bang, it just took the smallest trigger, which was sort of based on a fear of losing this space, really quickly. And it was, I don't know. It was sort of like, the trauma self was activated, and I went into a massive panic. And honestly, it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like it was some particular element of my psychology that hasn't been healed. It felt like an injury. Like it just felt uncontrollable panic and shaking, and and it just came from, obviously, from that core sense of security. The sense of security was threatened, and this trauma self was massively activated. Now I really, I don't know 100%. I do want to sort of, feel into this more, but I sense it's more like an injurious reflex that happened with this panic attack. Like the grief just felt natural, but this felt injurious. So, in a way, again, I've talked before about how there's like a healing. You break your arm, there's a 6 to 8 weeks healing while the bones knit together and everything. So I'm just imagining that, this was like, if you hit that arm, a week after injuring it, the pain is like massive. You just get this shooting pain. It's paralyzes you, and it's just telling you like to slow down, like to be very careful. And I feel like that's what it was that happened. I just realized it was just my higher bodies, my psychological bodies, going into this massive pain, a pain that was triggered. And I just got from it the same sort of message, which was kind of like, just go easy, you know, and I'm at a place now where I was able to just invoke light with Archangel Michael, and you know, and that really helped. And I just took myself out of here, went down to the beach, just stopped doing things, and just gave myself some space. And then I communicated, because I was able to communicate with Julie, the lady here, about the situation, and all of my fears were just like, you know, resolved. It was, yeah, it was easy. And so yeah, so there was a sort of a step by step of moving back out of it again. But yeah, so, and there was just one other sort of aspect to the trauma which I wanted to mention in this video that's been really, really helpful. So this space is basically like unfurnished. Like there was just a bed and that's it, you know, just 4 white walls and a bathroom. So no storage space, no nothing. So I've had to, the easiest thing for me, because I've been on, like, you know, I've had no time to go around and, you know, do a nice bit of shopping and go into furniture shops to find things and op shops, and it's all a bit expensive. So I've done a lot of shopping online where you can get furniture, simple furniture. It's all flat packed and you construct it all yourself. So you know, just things like that, and those tables and things, like it's all just, you build it all yourself. So I've spent like the past 3 days putting all of this stuff together, like just building it. And it's a bit like Lego, like, you know, you know, it requires a lot of patience, a lot of following the instructions exactly. You know, you have part 1 here, and your part B's there, you know, is the hardware that you slot in, and it's just, you know, you have to get very organized. It's very methodical. You need all the right tools and everything. And, you know, to put together each piece takes, you know, would take about an hour, maybe, yeah, probably about an hour for each one, maybe longer. But I found it so good for my mind. Just, you know, my mind was just focused on this methodical, just following instructions, you know, not thinking about things or anything, like not thinking about anything, just staying present with a very methodical task at hand. I recommend, like, you know, I think I just felt like it was just knitting my psychological trauma sort of together. So it's just like a little inside reflection, you know, like when we're dealing with trauma, like whether it's past or present or whatever, like to do very sort of, you know, methodical, practical things and take yourself away from the, you know, the other stuff, just to get into sort of a zone of following instructions and staying very practical. I found that to be very, very helpful. And I do believe that concludes video number 4. So thank you for listening, and may your day be beautiful, and see ya.